Um, 432 is a building type and make it operate as a signal for restraint, which I think is something that I'm very inclined to. I mean, it's an exercise on both a very strong structural concept to solve something that otherwise was, impossible to solve. I mean, this opportunity of generating an open grid that created a wonderful interior environment for these residences, but at the same time freed up the plant for the plant to be completely flexible and for remodeling and changes and so on. And this notion that the wind pressure could actually be diminished, particularly the vertex effect on the form by opening these gaps, right? But it is a very, very succinct and very powerful form. And once again, on a slenderness ratio that, for instance, by decree is forbidden everywhere else. I mean, 19:1 or 20:1 or something like that. And a very interesting piece of the skyline. I mean, much more, in my view, hopefully, will have much more of a longer life than exercises that are based on stylistic gadgetry, you see. I mean, it doesn't have a structure exposed that doesn't work as a structure. It's the structure. For many people, it's a frightening building. Many people may not have the inclination for living so high. So that's what is really amazing to me is that the initial concern about would you find people that would enjoy this? I mean, just look at the returns on the job and you'll see it. I mean, it's just, there's people kill for those apartments. Of course, there are some people that are not interested in it. So that's one part of it. The second part is that it redefines the building type as a vertical tower, as something which has much more of an anchor on its proportions than its decor. It has no decor. It's exposed concrete. I mean, these things sound, nowadays everybody uses it, but it is in exposed concrete, not because it is in exposed concrete because I'm tough. It's in exposed concrete because you cannot veneer a surface like this in those proportions at that high, and because the structure is what you see, and that structure also generating another important, what you would call sort of kind of operational advantage, which is that there are no columns inside. So you could buy the whole floor and make it a loft or divide it in 16 parts or do what you want. And that's not a very usual feature to find in residential construction. Just, as I say, I think contributes something which hasn't been explored before, which is, this question of how do you actually make a really slender building without covering the whole plan with concrete? There are, as a result of a particular zoning condition here, you'll see a lot of new slender buildings. But just look at the plans. I mean, the plans are completely unusable, right? Because, the amount of, the disposition of the structure is being done by somebody that comes later in the process because the architect had the idea of the form and then the engineer has to hold it. That to me is almost an insult to the discipline, right? So how could you be in this business just shaping without knowing, when in reality you're not shaping a drawing, you're shaping an animal which is, 400 meters tall, right? This isn't art, as I say. I was a musician. I love music. I know what art is. That's a different thing. All you need is a pen, right?